Hi Aries, welcome to your December 2020 reading. It's my pleasure to read for you guys. And as you guys know, we're coming up to the age of Aquarius pretty soon. And so I'm hoping that during this reading, we'll also get some insight into how to better prepare you for that. For that time. I'm sorry, I'm hearing like other messages as well. Spirit is so funny. That would be great. Thank you. There's the love. Okay. Okay. All right. So before I jump in, I just want to let you guys know, of course, if you'd like a personal reading with me, I do have readings, different kinds of readings that I offer on my Etsy site. You can find a link to Etsy on YouTube in the description box below. Very easy. If you're on Instagram, you can check my bio box and you'll see the Linktree link. Once you follow that link, you'll see access to my Etsy page as well. All right, so let's jump right in. So, first of all, while I was talking to you guys, Spirit was talking about matches. So they were talking about love, and right here we have the love card at the end, and also we have this reassurance of the golden light. So, what I'm getting for you in the month of December, my dear Aries, is that I'm actually feeling some good energies. It's interesting because I know quite a few Aries, and I know some of you guys are watching. Hi, right? And so I feel like you guys are having a lot of contentious energy. And I get it because I do have Aries as well. But as I'm looking at these cards here and I'm feeling this, I just feel like while you are focusing, you know what it is? Aries, or whoever you are, because it's for anybody. You know what it is? You are actively trying to focus on something right now. What are you focusing on? It's the healing. Now, when we're going through a lot of healing, a lot of light is basically coming in. And what happens is the more light that comes in, the more it shines upon the shadows. And then we start to see the shadow areas, and so we start to experience it. And then of course we have a lot of cosmological energies going on as well, in addition to whatever's going on in the collective consciousness. So if you're not shielding well, that can make things also a little bit harder. If you're not drinking a lot of water to allow yourself to purge, that can give you issues as well. But I'm seeing here that while you're focusing this month and really taking in that learning and that experience, I feel that something is going to come in for you. Now, this thing that's coming in for you, I have to be honest, feels like an anointing of ease. So we love that energy. It's an anointing of ease. So I'm just getting this energy that before you know it, it's going to be, things are going to be done. Oops, one second, guys. Okay. Before you know it, you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't feel as bad anymore. And then you're going to look back and be like, what was I going through? I had to have been going through something. That's right, you were totally going through something, okay? Again, you were going through a lot of clearings. In fact, take a look here. We have the karmic clearing card. I don't know if you guys can see it on the deck, but we have the karmic clearing card right next to the spiritual service card. But I have to be honest, the spiritual service card is trying to get behind the karmic clearing. And the reason why is because they're saying you can't even focus on the mission work at this point if this reading is for you, and you have to clear a lot of these energies. And so that's why a lot of you guys are mission workers, a lot of you are readers, you're healers, right? You do other things in service to God, in service to the collective. And for a lot of you, you've been having trouble focusing on that because of all of these energies that are happening. But as I mentioned earlier, I feel like you're going to have an anointing of ease. I feel that these energies are going to subside and you're just going to be like, wait, what? Where did all of this go? What was I experiencing? And as the clouds part, you're going to completely see like a totally different world. It's just going to be like a lush world. It's like, oh my gosh. It's imagine, you know what it's like? Imagine if you're having this perception of just being completely lost in a lot of stress, in a dark cloud of doom, and just a lot is going on. And then the wind blows and it blows it away, and then you suddenly realize, they're saying the word remember actually, you suddenly remember that, oh my gosh, my throat. you suddenly realize, you suddenly remember that, oh, I'm the one who had the problem. Like the world was not this crazy. I was perceiving of the world as being crazy, but no, it's me. I was walking around with this cloud around me. And you know why? Because you're purging. Hi, purge. Okay, that's what was going on. I really feel that you've been taxed if this reading is for you. One second, guys. You've really, 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 really been taxed. Oh, I love this card. Guys, I'm such a romantic at heart. Oh, oh, oh. So I just love that card. But in your reading, it's not coming through with a romantic meaning. In your reading, Aries, it's coming through as vulnerability. Spirit is saying that they caught you unawares. So a lot of you who have been going through this stress, you were caught unaware. You were literally caught off guard by a lot of these energies that came. I'm just getting this energy of being sucker punched, right? And so and it's like they're kind of saying it, I mean they're not making light of what you've been going through, please do not think that, but they're kind of giving themselves a pat on the back because it's like, yeah, we caught you with your pants down, we caught you unawares. Because you know what, think about it, Aries, you guys, you're like war people, right? The god of war, and Mars and all of that. You don't catch people like that unawares. It's like they're always ready, they're always vigilant, but they got you. They got you this time, and you had no idea that you would be cracked open in this way. Here it is. And for some of you, I'm seeing it came through family and friends, right? Look at this. As God blew this energy in, His source blows this energy in, it passes right through this family of light card into the dark angel. So, and the dark angel card is looking that way, caught completely unawares. So a lot of you guys have been really, really struggling. Yeah, you probably have been struggling with relationships as well. I don't necessarily mean romantic, but relationships in general. And that's probably through where a lot of your stress has been coming. However, look at what you cycle out into, this pink rose of Lady Nada, which speaks of clean, fresh relationships, clean, fresh connections. So again, just to reiterate, I do feel that you're just going to like, it's all going to be done. So if it has not subsided yet for you, it's going to be happening in the month of December. Now, the effect that this has had for you, had on you, is that it's made you vulnerable. You notice I didn't say it's made you weak, but Aries people, you probably heard me say made you weak, but I said made you vulnerable. And one of the lessons that you have to learn, and you're probably still learning, is that vulnerability is not to be equated with weakness. Okay? Instead, it is very, very strong. It's a mark of strength to be vulnerable. I think another thing that you've been guided towards experiencing or learning during this time, and possibly during December, as some of you are still trailing with your lessons, is that not everything is about you, because I'm seeing this card here where she's seeing herself in the mirror. Usually when I see this mirror card, it's about needing to go towards the self. It's about needing to go and acknowledge you. But actually, no. In this case, it's about looking at, because I see her turning away from the mirror, it's about looking at the real reality of who you are. For some of you, this may have come along the stream of cognitive dissonance. And when I say that, I mean you may have well woken up to like, oh my God, this is who I am. Like, oh my God, I always thought I was this way, but now I'm seeing the reality of it. I'm actually this way. I thought I was a great friend, but oh my God, it turns out I never acknowledged birthdays. I never this. I wasn't this. I didn't anticipate. Right. And so you're starting to see who you really are when as you wow remix who you really are in the way that you show up in the world. And this is decreasing the gap in cognitive dissonance. Okay, this is a good thing. This is about coming online. But what happens with that is once you start to see the person in the mirror and you start to see what you actually do versus what you always said you did or thought you did, it can weigh on you. It can make you feel like you're not a good person. It can push you into a place of darkness. We see that with the dark angel here. And I just feel like a lot of you guys just were exhausted. I'm just seeing you, as this adrift card shows, just kind of drifting. And the beautiful thing about that is when you have exerted yourself, my dear Aries, with all your fire, once you have exerted yourself from the kicking and the screaming and the this and that, you surrender just out of sheer exhaustion. And once that happens, that's when you have your rebirth. Because I see here the return of Aphrodite. But it's not until after you can get to this place of vulnerability, see yourself for who you really are, and just get tired of being a certain way. That's when you have this amazing rebirth. And that's a really, really beautiful place to be. Now, where are you along this spectrum, right? It really depends. Now, another thing that I would like to talk to you guys about is that you are going to be receiving some information, some more codes. I feel that after you're done going through all of this, you're going to receive some awesome stuff. And like I said, you're going to receive an anointing of ease. And that's what I see in this song of the siren. So Spirit is coming through, and it's victory, it's carrying a victory energy. Spirit is coming through to let you know two things. Number one, you're going to recover. You're fine. You're Aries. You'll be back on the saddle in no time, right? It's not like it's not like you're going to be trembling after what it is that you went through. I'm just seeing no. It's like, oh, whew, glad that's over. Okay, next. What's next? That's what I'm getting. But the second thing that the Spirit is going to, it wants to tell you is that be, even though you're able to jump right back in the saddle, be your Aries self, be amazing, be a leader, they're saying that you have to remember what you went through, because remembering what you went through when you were going through it is going to help you to build empathy for other people. It's going to help you to build compassion, and it's going to help you to exercise humility. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness, guys. Forgive me. It's going to get you to exercise humility. And Aries, sometimes humility is not something that comes so easily to you. And so Spirit is coming through with that warning that yes, you're going to be okay, you're going to be fine, but don't forget what you've learned. Don't forget what you've learned here today. Okay. Now, I'm seeing here that you really, really, really cracked the nut with this one, guys. You were going through it. I'm talking Eight of Swords energy, confusion, imprisoned thinking, perspective issues, Nine of Swords, crying in the shower, crying in the car, nightmares, sleepless nights, all of that. But you cracked that code. You really, really, really somehow are going to walk right through it. You really are. And I do see you carrying much more knowledge and a higher sense of being. I gotta be honest, I'm seeing that a lot of you were not taking very kindly to the messages coming through, because I'm seeing this feathers card. It says message coming out in the reversed, and it's falling upon this card that is reflecting yourself. So a lot of you may have been having adverse reactions to messages coming through for you about you, right? Some of you may also have had issues in connecting to your own, I want to say intuition, but they're speaking over me and saying intentions. So connecting to your own intentions. Wow. Okay. I mean, guys, when it starts to burn, it starts to burn. It's not easy, right? Yes, see? Yeah, the communication. They're saying the communication was always there. The signs were always there, but you never wanted to put on your glasses. Now, I just want to make a little bit of a note there, because it's never easy having to see yourself in the mirror. That's why people don't do it. That's why people walk around with their shadows, because the shadows are literally the things that we want to keep locked in the basement. And so, I mean, it's not easy. So you probably needed some time to adjust to this idea of, oh, I'm not perfect, right? And then being able to look at what's there. But once you did that and you had that illumination, guys, you got on board, I really see that you were able to turn things around, really to apply that Aries energy to get active, to get it done. Let's get her done. Yeah, there's the exactly. There's the precision card and it says focus. That's exactly what I'm seeing right here. And that's why Aries, you guys are leaders of the pack. Because the thing about Aries is sometimes you guys just are, there's a moment where you're a little confused, but then you're like, okay, what do I need to do? When you're told what to do, you just do it. It's just like, all right, let me just go do it. And so that's a really good thing. All right. I actually don't feel like your reading is going to be very long, Aries. Hold on, let me see. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm seeing that for some of you, okay, just kidding. Maybe the reading's continuing. For some of you, I'm seeing that you may have strayed off path just a little bit. Not too much, to be honest. It's almost like, let's say you are walking through a forest or the woods. No, excuse me. You're riding on this horse through the woods. And see how this guy's not in the woods anymore? He's like left the forest entirely and he's looking outside of the forest. But you're supposed to be in the forest. And so he's going to head back in. But that's what I'm trying to say. So you may have veered off path just a little bit. Now, how that shows up for you is in terms of your relationships. Maybe through all of this, maybe you may have parted ways with your friends, your family. Maybe you may have gone into seclusion, maybe just whatever. But it looks like stepping outside to take a breath of fresh air. And then for some of you, you went even further and maybe you it's funny because this bottom card, I just peeked at it and wanted to come in. And then for some of you, you went even further, like up this hill, like this mountain, right? So either way, I just see you guys returning back. So there's going to be this sense of return. So, but not until you're done, um, I guess, finishing out your lessons. But I'm hearing them say, not until you're done factoring out your losses. Okay, so factoring out all your losses. So for some of you, you may have lost some things. Obviously, when we shift our energies, things like that happen. We have to let go of certain people, certain ideas, right? There's a lesson here they're showing. Because this contract's coming in, but it's coming in not under the energy of a contract, but as a lesson. It's literally, they're saying there's a lesson here about straying too far. So maybe you've strayed far. Just as I said that, here's the, look at this card, with this journey card. They're saying in this case, you're lucky. They're saying you're lucky because look at this card. It's a card of journeying, right? So it's like, oh, I've strayed so far, but phew, this time you're lucky because you're actually still on track. So what that tells me is that if you had closed out any contracts, had any falling out. Wait, sorry guys, my brain is so tired. If you had any fallings out, if you had any falling outs, anyway, whatever. If you fell out with, with anybody, it could be quite a few people is what I'm getting here. And then in this case, the spirit is saying you're lucky because you're not so far off. I see you rekindling, returning to those connections altogether. There was something else I thought they wanted to say. That's okay. Now, I do want to say this though. If the person that you left was an abusive person, I don't feel that you should go back with that person, okay? Now, they're bringing that up very specifically because just because you left somebody, Aries, during this time, and they're saying you're going to go back and rekindle those friendships or those connections, does not mean that you should go back to someone who was the word they're using is extensive. That's going to mean something for someone. someone who was bullying to you, somebody who was abusive, you know. And the reason why they're saying that I see is because they drew this straight up rebirth card, okay? So for some of you, there are going to be rekindled romantic relationships. However, if it was an abusive one, they're saying absolutely not. And in fact, here's the two worlds card, which would show in between two minds. It is reversed. Absolutely not. They're saying no. Okay, so I feel usually that it's the realm of a personal reading. You know, you have to get a personal reading or find some way to find out whether the messages are definitely for you. But I will tell you this, if you were dealing with someone who was abusing you, then Spirit is actually coming straight forward and saying, we ain't talking to you. Okay, let that person go. Let that person go, because that was God's way of clearing the path for you by getting rid of that abusive partner. Wow. Okay. Yes. All right. So 20 minutes. I think we are good here. So my beautiful Aries, your reading is pretty straightforward. In a nutshell, you've been dealing with a lot of heavy energies. For some of you, it has led to the breaking down of communication with other people. For some of you, you were not using your intuition, right? But either way, Spirit is showing that all that you've lost in that sense will come back. You're going to be fine, except for if there was abuse there. They're really driving that home. And Spirit is saying that as you recover, please remember to have humility moving forward. And also remember what you went through so that you can apply it to helping other people. Okay? All right. So if you'd like a personal reading with me, you definitely can reach out. I do offer readings starting at $20, and they go all the way up depending on how in-depth of a reading you'd like to have. All right, but either way, you'll be in good hands, and much love and many blessings. Bye.